Welcome back, everyone. So this is the second solo jazz lesson for the Illini Swing Society Fall 2020. This time I'm going to show how to do some squat Charleston and transition that into skates, which is a transition I really enjoy. So squat Charleston, just to show, first of all, jump, hoop, hop, hoop, hop. You can also add a double, hoop, hop, double, or just singles. So, a couple of elements to that. Let's start with the legs. Starting down, so it's kind of in, so you hop, let's say, onto my left foot, tuck in my right, then kick out. Hop onto the right, kick out. And that helps me go from one side to the other. So if I'm here, kick, 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 boom, boom. Now it actually helps. Notice when I was doing it faster, or I should have been, when I do it here, as I'm kicking out, my standing leg actually hops a little bit. So that I keep my weight kind of centered. As I kick my leg out this way, my standing foot kicks a little bit to the other side. So, it's a lot more time and energy consuming to do kick, kick. Because imagine we have to balance our body here and also all the thrust coming from the kick. So if we can average that, we're actually using a little bit less energy. So, try and do a slow motion. Jump with both feet. Here, there. Trying to exaggerate, but you saw that this leg shot out as I was kicking. And then as I jump here, I can do a smaller hop, but as I kick, you have to get kind of used to making small hops on your standing leg as your free leg is doing something. Big thing on solo jazz is that both your feet are doing things. A lot of people forget about your standing leg. And that's really important. I mean, you have to have at least one. But a lot of people focus on, what that leg is doing versus the one you're on. Show it again. Pull, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out. So notice, I can take smaller hops, but as I kick out, that was a bad example here, that's where I can dramatize how big the movement looks with actually not dispensing more energy. Now, let's talk about the arms, because that adds to the effect. It can also help balance you. You can have it out here. It's actually, if you go at fast tempos, this will actually be less stable. At slow tempos, you'll be okay. Hey buddy, you gonna join? Alright, so at least be here, so that's symmetrical, but you really want it to flow with your body later. So as you're mapping things out, see, my hands want to move already. But, so I can't really get my full body weight into that thrust because my hands are static. But it prevents you from teetering around too much. The next level is to then have at least kind of like back when we used to travel, air traffic control people. So you have just like coming in, coming out. And your arms will actually mimic what your free leg is doing. So watch this. Hoop, hoop, hop, hoop, hop, hoop, hop, hoop. Why is that? Simple thing of having a twist, well, less of a twist and more preparation for that lunge. So I have a little bit of like wind up in my arms. My body's not twisting, just at least fold in. So when I want to kick out, that gets projected outward. So this arm is straight-ish, and then this leg is out. When then I'm switching feet, this is my free foot, and that arm tucks in. So mimicking bent arm, bent leg, and then straight out, and then switch. So rather than awkward robot speed, down, ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ooh, ha. You can make it look easier as though you're not trying at all. It's super natural if you let the arms flow from one side to the other. Now, trying to make something look hard to make it look easy is it's challenging. So that takes effort to actually think about your arms. And a lot of us, we kind of forget about that because a lot of people feel dancing is with the legs or the feet. He doesn't want to join. So that takes practice. I would imagine you just try different swoops. So swoop down, swoop across, have some flick of the hand. All these are really cool options. And this arm movement actually helps you if you want to do a double, which is good for batches of 8 counts. Because you have 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. Caught myself. So, to do a double, you're here, but you end up doing kind of like a window washy, or you can do a flick, more of the 20s Charleston style. Something to keep you on this side and keep you standing. So that's an option. And one thing that I like to add to this afterwards are skates. So skates are kind of what people thought of skating back, I guess, in the 1920s and 30s on ponds, and people kind of were like, oh, pretty. As a former competitive figure skater, not sure how I feel about this, but this is what the move is called. So back here to make sure my cat's not there, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll back up with my feet are not showing anymore. Boom, 5, boom, 5. So again, this big focus for this lesson is kind of the small hops that can move you. Before it was in the squat Charleston, now it's front and back in the skates. This standing foot, I'm only hopping enough to lift my body weight and just shift myself forward a little bit. Do note, if your shoes are super sticky, or it's a super sticky floor, just watch your ankles. You don't want to trip, roll over something. If you notice this one ankle is a little bit bigger than the other, I didn't do that dancing, but it can happen, so do watch it. So, it's usually 4. So you kind of feel like I wouldn't say free willy, but you want to basically have this nice proud posture here from the side. I'm not bent over, but I have kind of collarbone up and out. So as I'm hopping, it has kind of this floaty, the top feels like you have an upwards feeling, but you're still grounded in your feet. That doesn't change for any of the jazz dancing. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 5, 6, 7, 8. It tends to have a bit of a diagonal trajectory. That's up to you. It has a bit more style, and kind of you get to see different lines. Because if you came straight at the person, it's a little bit more aggressive looking, and not aggressive skating like NHL hockey or something like that. So from squat Charleston, what I've done before is boom, ba, boom, ba. And as I'm kicking out, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can add this in however, so shoot, shoot, boom. You can also do a bit of a pause if you need to kind of calibrate and find a new direction. So those are two options. You can either do from the kick directly. If you know right at that moment it sounds like a good time to do some skates, or you need to wait a count or two until you do the skate. So you can do a pause, ha, a boom, ha. So those are some two cool moves with a nice transition in the middle. Skates, generally done side to side or front. Back has a different look. And you will see this move, it's not really a skate, I guess, at that point, but that is in the tranky-do. So, same mechanic, probably different name, but when it comes to skates in this particular posture, especially the upper body, front diagonal sides. As for squat Charleston, that's mostly on the spot, unless you can challenge that and put that into a direction, but you're already doing so much work anyway. It's best to keep it tight and to make just those lines of knees, legs bent, go for the most awkward angles possible. And then when you kick out, I'm just going to balance here for a second because it's my bad ankle. You want to go for flex foot. You don't want any pointy stuff. So focus more on that than any type of goal of how far you jump. And that's it. Have fun.